Deep within a frozen Arctic cave, a team of workers diligently excavates layers of ancient ice when they stumble upon an extraordinary discovery, something large, encased deep within the ice. Realizing its importance, they cut out a massive block and airlift it to a specialized laboratory for further study. The scientists, intrigued by the potential of the find, quickly halt all excavation activities and summon an anthropologist, Dr. Stanley, an expert in Arctic history and Eskimo cultures. At the lab, Stanley meets Dr. Diane and her team, who initially speculate that the frozen specimen is a prehistoric animal, possibly similar to the mammoths discovered in Siberia in the late 1800s. Carefully, they use lasers to cut through the ice, removing it layer by layer to avoid damaging the contents. To their shock, the block does not contain an animal, but a perfectly preserved Neanderthal, a hunter frozen in time for tens of thousands of years. Fascinated, Stanley examines the man's robust features, his worn tools, and his primitive clothing, concluding that he was a skilled survivor of his era. As the team debates their next steps, Stanley grows uneasy. Diane insists on dissecting the body to share samples with top research centers, but Stanley argues for more careful study. The Neanderthal is thawed slowly, revealing intact organs, viable cells, and a body preserved as though frozen only yesterday. Tests reveal faint signs of brain activity, sparking excitement among the scientists. Diane theorizes that ancient humans may have evolved cryoprotectants, cellular mechanisms that prevent damage during freezing. This discovery could revolutionize modern medicine, from treating diseases to achieving human immortality. With the Neanderthal's brain showing increasing activity, the team attempts a bold experiment. Using a defibrillator, they revive the man. His heart begins to beat, and his eyes open, but his awakening is filled with confusion and terror. Panicked by the unfamiliar sights and sounds of the lab, he lashes out until Stanley removes his mask to reveal a human face. Momentarily calmed, the Neanderthal, later named Charlie, is sedated for safety. The scientists view Charlie as a groundbreaking subject for their experiments, envisioning Nobel-worthy breakthroughs in freezing technology. Stanley, however, argues for humane treatment, suggesting they observe Charlie in a controlled natural environment. Reluctantly, Diane agrees, granting Stanley 2 weeks to study him in a specially designed vivarium, mimicking the prehistoric world. Inside the vivarium, Charlie quickly adapts, showcasing his instincts and survival skills. He drinks from berry juices, cooks food over a fire, and crafts tools for hunting. His behavior fascinates the scientists, who marvel at his ingenuity and resilience. However, Charlie soon discovers hidden elements of the artificial environment, such as a hose leading to tense encounters as they try to maintain control. As the days pass, Stanley forms a bond with Charlie, teaching him basic English words while learning Charlie's language in return. Through this exchange, Stanley uncovers details about Charlie's life, including his family, whom he mourns deeply. Charlie reveals scars on his chest, referring to them as Collector of the Days, a happy and healthy bird followed by healers. Stanley connects this to an Inuit legend of Sedna, a divine bird that acts as a messenger between the living and the afterlife. He theorizes that Charlie's tribe may have perished in a catastrophic event, leaving him on a spiritual quest to seek redemption. Tensions escalate when the scientists resume invasive experiments, freezing Charlie to test his cryoprotectants. When Charlie awakens with new scars, he becomes increasingly hostile, alienated by the lab's treatment. Desperate, he asks Stanley for death, miming his wishes with his spear. Stanley refuses, determined to protect him. Diane intervenes, but Charlie's distress continues to grow, culminating in an escape attempt that leads to the accidental death of a scientist. The team captures Charlie and decides to transfer him to a secure facility, ignoring Stanley's warnings that further confinement will destroy him. In a final act of defiance, Stanley sneaks Charlie out of the lab, guiding him into the Arctic wilderness. Their escape is perilous, with collapsing ice shelves separating them. Spotting a helicopter overhead, Charlie mistakes it for Beta, the divine bird, and leaps toward it. He clings to the helicopter's skis, chanting joyfully, but eventually lets go, plummeting to his death. Charlie's tragic end leaves the scientists to reflect on the consequences of their ambition. For Stanley, the experience serves as a poignant reminder of the ethical boundaries science must respect, even in the pursuit of progress.